Hi, it's Lauren with LaurenTeachesFlute.com and welcome to today's tutorial. So today's tutorial is how to play with emotion on the flute, and this was a requested tutorial topic. And so in this video I'm going to be sharing with you what's helped me on this subject in my own practice. So I hope some of these tips can help you today. So I would say there's about 2 prerequisites for this, and that is that you're familiar with using vibrato in your playing, and you're also familiar with using dynamics in your playing. So I did a video on vibrato a while back, and I'll link that video here if you want to know where to get started in your vibrato practice. I have not done a video on dynamics though, so if you'd like to see a tutorial video on how to play soft to loud, loud to soft, please comment below and then I will make that video. So anyway, yes, so those are the prerequisites, is playing dynamics and vibrato. And so those are 2 separate videos on their own, but definitely include that in your warm-up on a regular basis, so you can get comfortable with them, get fluent with them, and then you can add it into your pieces and the music you're playing, and then go from there, and then you can start really adding emotion into the music. You can even do it without knowing how to do these things, but those 2 things help like a whole lot. So just to give you an example, I'm going to be playing the first phrase of Go Bear's Madrigal, and I'm going to play it once, just basic, no vibrato, no dynamics, and then I'm going to add vibrato and dynamics, and you can kind of see the difference. Now with vibrato and dynamics. So it added a little something when I put dynamics into it, but I feel like it's very difficult for me to hold back because I'm so used to putting a little something extra into it. So I'm going to share with you 5 tips for making things sound more expressive when we play. So a lot of the 5 tips, if not all of the 5 tips, yes, all of the 5 tips that I'm about to share with you are Marianne Gadeghian inspired. So I studied with Marianne Gadeghian for 4 years at the University of Texas. So I'm just giving credit where credit is due. Marianne Gadeghian has helped me so much with being able to play with emotion and just get outside of the box and just play to people and stuff. So yeah. So tip number 1 is to tell a story when you play. So one studio class, Miss Gadeghian walked in with a bunch of children's books, and she had all of us read a children's book to the rest of the studio class. Why? Because when you read a story to a child, you don't read it like you're reading to just anyone. You want to make it like really exciting and animated, right? You want to like just exaggerate everything so that, you know, everybody gets it and it's very clear what you're trying to do. So just imagining that you're telling a story when you play, as if you're telling a story to a child. Just make it as expressive and exciting as possible and just put everything into it, and it just makes it so fun to listen to and things like that. So definitely tell a story when you play, and make sure you tell a story to your listeners and not tell a story to your music stand. So just go beyond the music stand. Even if you still have to look at it, just put your intention on telling the story to your listeners, and that makes it more exciting for me when I perform, and hopefully it makes it more exciting for everybody else. Tip number 2 is to imagine that your flute is 40 feet away. Yeah, so there's a lot of music I have written at the very top in bold letters, 40 feet away, because I know what that means. It means like forget about the flute and just play your butt off. Just forget about all that technical stuff you've been working on and just let it go and just tell a story. Forget about the flute, and that has also really helped me play with more emotion when I'm performing. Tip number 3 is to write expressive words into your music. So the Gobert madrigal that I was playing earlier, you can write whatever you think you want to convey, like mysterious or hopeful or reminiscent of like a time in the past that was, you know, something you loved or something like that. And then tell that story to your listeners and just show them mysterious, like you're telling a story to a child. So that could be also helpful. All right, so tip number 4 is to color your music. So here's an example I wrote up and colored. So you can see that there is red colored pencil and there's also blue colored pencil. Some of it's a really deep red, really dark red, and some of it's darker blue shaded. So basically what coloring my music is it's a visual, and so it's really good if you want a visual on how you want to color your music, literally, but also in your playing. So the light blue shaded areas might be a very transparent, hollow, kind of sweet sound, whereas the darker blue sections would be like a more full, kind of dark sound. And the light red might be like soft playing, but with like a lot of intensity, like it's building, or even though it's soft, it still has a lot of intensity in it. And the really dark red would be like really aggressive, fiery, bold kind of playing. So it can really help you put some awareness on what you want to do with your tone colors when you play, which in turn can help your performance be more expressive and emotional to your listeners. And then tip number 5 is to simply commit and go for it and don't apologize. So basically, a lot like saying, you know, imagine your flute is 40 feet away from you. You want to go for it when you perform. And yes, so kind of let go of all that technical stuff and go for it and commit. So I like to really put my attention when I perform on sharing music with my listeners and just keeping that kind of connection with the people that I'm playing for and sharing this music with people. That seems to be the most important thing to me. That's why we have music, to share it with people and to inspire and to uplift others. And we just have to keep our focus on that when we perform and share it and enjoy it. And so a lot of times we could, you know, have, an imperfect performance. So don't apologize for any of that. Just keep your attention on sharing with people and commit to that, because that's the most important thing. it's not so important that you play perfectly. It's more important that you share music with people. So don't apologize for any mistakes, and commit and go for it. One more thing I was going to say about that is like when you apologize for your mistakes, it's almost as if you kind of feel like you're, oh my goodness, like in your head you're like, I messed up, no, and then you get into this thing, and now the kind of, this communication you're having with your audience kind of cut off, and you're kind of back in your own little world, kind of wanting to hide, when you make a mistake. So if you make a mistake, it's just a change of attitude. Just don't apologize and just keep sharing music, because that's the most important thing of all. So that's definitely something to practice over time. And yeah, so it's something we can always work towards and always keep in mind when we perform. So this is helpful for me to remember when I'm sharing music as well. So now I'm going to play the Gobert Madrigal, and I'm going to try to play using the tips that I just shared with you. So let me know if you can tell the difference between the first two I played at the beginning of the video and then this one. So there you have it. Those are my top tips on how to play with more emotion and expression on the flute. So I hope you found some of these tips helpful. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more tutorials like this one, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.